Hi, everybody. Hi, folks at Craft. Hello, Paula. I am a major veggie maniac, which I think you guys already know. And today I'm going to be cooking with Philadelphia cream cheese, but the spinach and artichoke variety. And that's obviously going to give you a hint as to what I'm going to make. Spinach and artichoke dip, I love. However, when I go out to a restaurant, you never know what they're putting in it. So it's generally a ton of sour cream, some cheese maybe, and whatever else. It could be olive oil or I don't know. But also too, you're also eating that with chips or bread or something else, and it is a ton of calories to digest as just an appetizer. And so I figured, I was like, look, I have got to figure out a way to lean this down. So what I've done now, and how I generally scratch my spinach and artichoke itch, if you will, is I make it into a casserole now. The only dairy that I use is the Philadelphia cream cheese and a little bit of Parmesan. And of course, all of the flavors of the vegetables shine through. So that's what I'm going to be making today. Well, we're going to do everything right here because it's going to go saute here, spinach drain there, and then into the oven for 30 minutes. So let's start off with melting 4 tablespoons of butter and sauteing the spinach and the onions. I did say that I was going to lean this down, but there's a little bit of butter in here. And we're going to let that heat up and seriously cook down for 3 minutes. I just sauteed my onions in that butter and it's luscious. I've taken my onions out and I've just set them aside for a minute, and I'm going to, in the same pan, saute my spinach, which I'm going to do right now. Now, some people might say, well, why didn't you just saute the spinach first and then add the onions? Well, that's because first I like to cook in a seasoned pot, and I didn't want any of the flavor of the onions and the butter to get squeezed out when I've got to squeeze out all of this spinach. So that's just how I do it, and it turns out really well. Medium-high heat. Maybe 5 minutes. I think it cooks a lot faster than that. Don't put anything in the pan after I've sauteed the onions with regard to the spinach, because first of all, it kind of makes its own liquid, but you don't need to add anything. Look at that. It's cooking down really nicely. Okay, so I am going to take this off the fire. Still going to drain it a little bit and squeeze any kind of excess out of there, because we don't want our casserole to be soupy. We want our casserole to be creamy. Very creamy. And then, I'm totally cheating because I'm not just adding Philadelphia cream cheese plain, I'm adding the spinach and artichoke. So whatever flavors are going to be there anyway are going to get kicked up a bit. Okay, so I've drained my spinach. I'm going to now put back in the flavor of those softened, perfectly cooked onions, that bit of butter that I cooked them in. Here's my spinach. I love this basket because of all the holes. It really does drain it very easily. And I just take another strainer and press it on top so I don't burn my fingers, and I can work very quickly because the spinach is still very hot. Okay, so to the onions and to the spinach, I'm going to add the artichoke hearts that I rough chopped. Once we've got that pretty much heated through, it's time to add the Philadelphia cream cheese. That's about 6 ounces of the spinach and artichoke Philadelphia cream cheese. I'll just take these, and we're going to let that melt down just so everything can get nice and acquainted. I'm going to add about a half cup of Parmesan cheese and just going to fold it over gently. And maybe a little more. Good. And now this is ready to go into its baking dish. Right? This is perfect. So I'm going to now spoon this into a greased 8x8 baking dish. And I really want you guys to see this because it looks so delicious. But I don't want to spill any either. You know, I used to date a guy, this was his favorite dish. So if he was ever mad at me for any reason, like, oh, I was running late and we missed the opening of a show or something like that, I would make it for him. I wouldn't say a word. I would just make it for him and I would put it on the table. Last but not least, we're going to add a little bit of a crust on our casserole with the remaining Parmesan cheese. I'm just going to sprinkle it there because it's really pretty. It'll make a nice brown crust for us. Soft, not hard at all. And this is ready to go into the oven. Um, 350 degrees, 30 minutes, it's ready to go. And I'm hoping, yes. Oh. Can you see and hear that? Doesn't that look good? I'm just going to take a real big scoop of it right now. Okay. Oh, can you see that steam? It's still nice and hot. I know I shouldn't talk with my mouth full. My mama raised me better than that. But I need to share with you that this is absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Philadelphia cream cheese. Thank you, Paula, for this tremendous opportunity.